Nintendo
But anyways,
Direct, the big boy, the big chungus. The big battle royale mini game Nintendo Direct. There were no battle royale mini games announced. So let's
Really
just start off right with the big stuff. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is an open world looking 3D Kirby game, which I believe is it the first of its kind? I don't think they've had a full 3D Kirby game ever.
This is the first full mainline 3D Kirby game. They've had like 3DS eShop stuff before
that had 3D elements, but they were never actual 3D gameplay.
But this is the first like fully 3D 360-degree movement.
Yeah, this one I'm considering maybe getting this one. This one looks fun to me.
This is like
I was not
anticipating.
Yeah, it's like Mario Odyssey but with Kirby.
Yeah, I was not anticipating Kirby in the apocalypse.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the destroyed city, my brain and everyone else that I was watching it with, they were all immediately Splatoon 3. And then they dropped the Kirby bomb on us and we were like, "Oh, all right, this is interesting."
Part of me was like, is this at first I thought it was an Odyssey 2 thing.
Yeah, I thought maybe as well, yeah.
Odyssey 2, and this is like
I thought it was maybe like a destroyed New Dunk City. Yeah.
But no, I was very shocked to see it was Kirby. It's been a while since Star Allies came out, so I was anticipating some new Kirby game soon. And they had been talking about the next one being 3D, but this looks actually very good. It looks like they've spent time actually like developing ideas for this one. They have a bunch of new enemies, new bosses. It looks like they've taken a lot of time to get like Kirby's movement and the 3D environment really well.
Yeah, it looks really good.
How his abilities work. It looks very good, and they did announce that it's launching in spring of 2022, which is relatively soon. That's probably around the same time that Star Allies did drop. But I anticipate this one probably being like the best-selling Kirby game they've ever done.
It's always been my favorite Nintendo character. I always main him in Smash.
That's the only character Patrick ever plays because he just spams up B and down B. All right.
How you go?
So we're getting this was huge news. We're getting an expansion pass for Nintendo Switch Online that will include N64 games, which a lot of people were theorizing would happen. But the Nintendo, of course, with their left field plays, just absolutely out of nowhere, also announces Sega Genesis support for Nintendo Switch Online. That was crazy. What was that?
I don't know, but like that's cool. Hey, if they're gonna do an expansion and they at launch for this expansion pass and only have 9 N64 games, so adding
what I think kind of sucks. But they announced that they're going to be adding more later. They announced Majora's Mask is going to be coming.
Banjo-Kazooie is going to be coming, which is really cool.
Yeah, I want to play that one. To be honest, I don't really like the whole game streaming thing on Nintendo Switch Online. I just can't get into it. But I mean, I might play like Ocarina of Time or something, or just jump in to see how the game is.
I think the problem with like Switch Online with like NES and SNES games are really problems with like those games were made in a very specific time where games were not meant to be like you started it and then you finished it. It was a thing where you picked it up and you played it for half an hour and then you put it down.
Well, whenever I play a Nintendo Switch Online game, like I can't get into it because I feel like I don't own the game. Like it's just part of the service. Anyway, sorry, Patrick, what were you going to say?
I don't think I was going to say anything. But does Nintendo Switch Online save your progress and everything?
Yeah, it does.
You can. Yeah.
So is it kind of like you own it?
Yeah, like you can play through the whole game. I just, for some reason, anytime I play it, I feel like it's not my game, so I never play it for very long. Oh, there's Max. He's back again.
My wife
title
is ginormous.
So the titles they announced to be launching on this new N64 program at when it comes out is Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Star Fox, Ocarina of Time, Mario Tennis, Yoshi's Story, which are some of the biggest N64 titles.
Yeah.
And for Genesis, you have like the big ones, which is like Sonic 1 and 2, and like Golden Axe and Alex Kidd and stuff. But the titles they announced that is coming to N64 later are Majora's Mask, Banjo-Kazooie, F-Zero X. So those are some actual like quality meaty games you could get into. Max, if you're gonna fiddle with stuff, you mind muting
Yeah, please
yourself?
mute yourself while you're banging in your room.
Okay, I'm trying to figure.
Okay,
Alrighty.
there we go. So they did not announce what the price is going to be, which is concerning because if I think if it's anything over $30, I'm not doing it.
I think it'll be another. I think it'll be a $10 add-on.
I hope it's my hope is that it's like 25, like total, like it's a $5 thing.
Oh, it won't be $5. It'll be $10 at least.
I think it's probably going to be 10, which is a lot of money.
I think
That's
it'll be
still
10.
money.
If Nintendo really wants to push it, they'll make it 20. I don't see it being more than 20.
I don't think they'll charge 20 for it because then like what are they saying their online is worth if just the games is worth $20?
Yeah.
Like
that means you're paying for basically nothing. But
and they did say it's launching in November, I believe, and they said they're going to give more info on it later on
at a later date.
in October.
There were more directs announced in this direct than there were games announced in this direct.
I know, I thought that was funny too. But also they, along with the N64 and Genesis games, they also of course announced that
controllers going on with them. And that's how we knew that this was going to come out, is because those had leaked early on.
N64 controller leaked, but the Genesis didn't.
Yeah, that one didn't leak.
Weird. It's always weird. I wonder if it did.
And people just didn't know what it was.
And people thought Sega was doing like another retro console.
Oh, that might have been it. Yeah.
And they didn't see that it was for NSO.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably a big possibility.
All right. Well, anyways, we got Bayonetta 3, a full gameplay reveal trailer.
Which, hey.
I mean, that's great. We've been waiting for that for 4 years now.
Yeah, revealed 4 years ago almost. And people kept asking when it was coming, and they kind of said, later on.
Now, something that, and this might have been just because it's a trailer, but something that is different is they have toned down the game significantly when it comes to certain aspects of the combat. I'm not going to go into specifics. And again, this might have been because it was a trailer, but
it was probably a trailer. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be in the game.
Yeah. The game is rated M for a reason. But we also got Splatoon 3 gameplay trailer, as well as a first look at the campaign, Rise of the Mammalians, featuring some furry octopuses.
Just so you know, Bayonetta 3 launching in 2022.
That
was also a big thing. Launch year. So so back to Splatoon 3. We got more gameplay stuff. Got to look at some new weapons, some new special abilities. They gave a little bit of hint on like the main map, and also again they showed a trailer for the campaign, which has a subtitle and appears to have a full plot this time, unlike Splatoon 2.
So lore-wise, this means that I guess the mammals are not extinct, and that we might see a human character.
Yeah, they did say that it's going to address like the mammals coming back because all of them are like gone.
They're gone. Yeah, it's only is it mollusks?
It's only
squids or mollusks, right? I think.
Yeah. But there's hairy squids. Hairy octopuses.
So it's either like carcinization, where like they're just evolving into mammals, or there's just mammal octopus hybrids. We'll see. It's very strange.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But it looks very fun. Looks like they're introducing a lot of new fun elements into it.
Now, something I did notice: the game is not running in native resolution. It's running in like 720 or 480p. Like in all the gameplay they showed, it was not running in native resolution.
That might have just been the live stream, though.
It could have been, but I don't know. That seems weird.
It could have been the live stream, and also, I mean, it's not finished yet, so it could be better.
It doesn't look nearly as polished or clean as like 1 or 2 does.
I know. Well, but they do use Splatoon does have resolution scaling where it optimizes frame rate over resolution. So if they are just showing like
that's true.
It could have been doing that.
Yeah.
All right. We lost Patrick.
Oh, we lost Patrick too. This is good. This is great. All right.
Again, Zoom issues. The
episode. That's what I'm gonna call this one. Zoom Zoom issues, something like that.
Oh.
My camera just turned off, and I literally it won't let me turn it back on.
Awesome. Cool. And
just how it's
Patrick, are you with us? Give us a sign if you can hear us, Patrick. Okay. I don't think you can hear us. All right. Let's see. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, which is a paid expansion pass, is coming next summer. It looks very Castlevania-esque. A lot of people that were in the room thought that it was Castlevania, like a 3D Castlevania. I was like, no, guys, it's Monster Hunter DLC. And the guy was like, no, this looks like Castlevania. I'm like, that's a Rathalos. This is Monster Hunter DLC.
I would like to say that Monster Hunter Rise so far has been pretty good. I've played 10 hours of it so far.
I saw Rathalos, and at first I thought it might be a Smash reveal. I was like, is it Monster Hunter Fight of the Last Kai? But we'll get to Smash later.
I think he very well could be the last fighter, though. I think there's a good chance he could be Monster Hunter.
I think we'll probably get to theories on that.
But we'll see. We'll see. Is it 2 weeks? They announced that they're revealing the next Smash character?
Yeah, we'll just get on to that.
Yeah, we'll just move on, I guess.
They're going to unveil the final Smash Ultimate character, could be the final Smash character
ever. Yeah.
On October 5th, Sakurai is going to do his last presentation. Again, I have no idea who it could be.
This is a total shot in the dark. We have no idea.
It could. It's a roll of the dice. I mean, it could be anyone. It could be Crash Bandicoot. It could be Master Chief. It could be a random Pokemon. It could be another Fire Emblem character.
Yeah.
It could be Cranky Kong.
I think
it can literally be anyone.
I think now, because in this reveal they said the final Smash character. I think now that they're leaning into it's the last one branding, I think it's got to be someone big.
Yeah.
Because they've been kind of downplaying it up until this point, but now that they said the final character, that makes me think it's got to be someone big.
And they have to know
the final character specifically for Smash Ultimate. Like, is there going to be a next?
Well, they've already said that no Smash game ever in the future will have this many characters.
Yeah, well, it won't have every character from the series.
Yeah, this could very well be the last new Smash character ever added to a Smash game.
Yeah, so
it's crazy,
and it could be the last. It probably won't be the last Smash Bros. Game because it makes too much money for them to stop.
Yeah, they'll probably make more, but
there is a very good chance Sakurai retires from the series after this. So this could be Sakurai's last character that he is personally
introducing. And that is why I am pushing my theory of stock frozen PNG Sakurai who just moves back and forth across the street and bops up and down.
I'd be down for that.
I am pushing hard for PNG Sakurai.
I can dance around if it's PNG Sakurai as the final character.
That would be funny.
But it's not.
It's definitely not.
I'm betting my money on random Pokemon.
I think.
I know.
I don't know why you think that. It's not going to be.
It probably is going to be something bigger, but that's where my money's on.
I think it will either be Monster Hunter because with this year's release, they've proved Monster Hunter is a titan of a franchise. It sells a ton of units. And I think it's either Monster Hunter or Waluigi. I know he kept saying Waluigi will never be in the game.
Yeah.
But I think it would be such a complete moment if Waluigi ended up being the final character announced.
And it was Waluigi.
Why did he say he'd never be in the game?
He just said he would never be in the game.
He said he only wanted to put characters in it that like people actually wanted, because Waluigi being in the game was kind of a meme, and he wanted people to actually like love the character enough to have them be in it, not just because it was funny.
I feel like Waluigi is at this point the only character that could, other than maybe Master Chief or Doom Guy. I feel like Master Chief, Doom Guy, and Waluigi. Those are the only three characters that could live up to the hype that's been built up for this character.
Master Chief would be full circle in that it's like a pure like Microsoft rep. And Microsoft has made their way into Smash.
Right.
Doom Guy would be cool just because it's a Doom Guy.
And he's already on Switch.
Yeah, and Crash would be nice because he's like he's like one of the gaming icons, and he's finally in Smash.
It could be like a Skylanders thing.
It won't. Probably no, they haven't made a Skylanders game in like 4 years.
Well, Spyro came out recently.
That's not the same. It could be Spyro. Now it could be Spyro. I don't think it could be a Skylander. Spyro maybe.
Yeah, no. If it's gonna be anyone related to Skylanders, it'd be Spyro.
I could see Spyro. I could see Spyro. I could see Ratchet and Clank too. I feel like they'd be really good in Smash.
That's all. I think it's more likely we'll get it could be Ratchet and Clank, but I think it's more likely we'll get a Microsoft rep than a PlayStation.
Yeah, I think so too. I just think I'm just naming off characters I think that could live up to the hype.
Yeah, honestly,
I could see Sora. Sora, I think, is another big one that I think could be the last one.
I think any major third-party character would like meet the minimum level.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that would disappoint the thing that would disappoint people is like
if it's a Pokemon.
If it's a Pokemon, people are gonna hate it. If it's like Bandana D, people will be mad. If it's another Fire Emblem character,
people will lose their minds.
If it's a Fire Emblem character, I will literally laugh like screeching bird laugh.
Smash Bros. Legacy will go down in flames if the last character announces a Fire Emblem rep.
Probably the servers at Twitter headquarters will catch flames from the sheer anger burning from the website.
Fire Emblem will cause their servers to catch fire.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, let's move on to the next. What do we got next? Animal Crossing New Horizons DLC and Direct has been announced for October. Or the Direct has been announced for October. The DLC has been announced, I think, for early next year.
No, so they announced there's going to be another batch of free content coming in November.
Yeah, they're adding the cafe, which is apparently a thing. All the people that I was watching it with were really excited about it. I've never played an Animal Crossing game except for this one, so I don't know what the cafe is, but it sounds cool.
It's mostly just a normal cafe. But that's one of the things they have announced is coming in this update. But full Direct, I wonder what else they got coming. People have been really demanding more content for this game.
Yeah, because let's be honest, they've kind of dropped the ball with Animal Crossing.
It's obvious they were not anticipating this level.
Absolutely not. No. And this game, let's be real. If COVID didn't hit when it did, this game would not have sold. I'd say even half the units it ended up selling.
I think it still would have sold very well.
It would have sold well. But keep in mind, this game has sold so much better than every other Animal Crossing ever, that even if it did sell half the units it did, it would still be the best-selling Animal Crossing ever.
Yeah. Its popularity is absurd.
Yeah.
And it's obvious they weren't prepared for it, and they didn't have the content ready to roll out. So I hope this November update is like a huge chunk.
I'm just frustrated that the mobile version of Animal Crossing has gotten more support over the last year than the actual flagship Animal Crossing experience.
Like, I've fallen off Animal Crossing.
The mobile version of it?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Do more people play the mobile version?
No.
Definitely not.
I've met maybe 2 people that play it ever.
And there are a lot of people who played it.
The mobile version?
Yeah, I didn't know anyone who played the Switch version.
Patrick, you live in a strange place.
Everyone
I know that has a Switch has at least tried Animal Crossing.
Indiana is often its own separate world full of Pocket Camp players.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to get back into Animal Crossing, but at the moment, I have nothing to do in the game. I've done everything. I have a 5-star island. I've finished all the fossils. I'm not going to bother doing the art because that's too hard.
The only time I fired it up recently was for some holiday stuff.
I fired it up a couple weeks ago just to turn it on, and I de-weeded my island, and then I was like, all right, cool, I'm done. I squished all the bugs in my house.
Yeah, and the holiday stuff is coming up too.
In several months, or I guess a month.
Patrick, you need to buy a Switch Lite. We'll get you one for Christmas, buddy.
You guys,
we'll mail it to you.
Mail me a Switch.
Yeah, well, actually, you'll be here for Christmas.
Yeah, you'll be here for Christmas. Alrighty. Splatoon 3 we talked about. Mario Party Superstars. I do not care about Mario Party.
About the Chris Pratt thing.
We'll get there. We're
gonna talk about that.
We'll get there when we do movie time.
Don't you worry about that.
We will talk about that. Trust me. All right. Yeah. Mario Party Superstars gameplay and maps. I think the maps were already revealed, but we got some more gameplay.
We got more looks at it.
Yeah. It's just the current Mario Party with different maps. It's running on the same engine. All the none of the character models are different. It is
not even different maps.
Here's what they did. They clicked at the top right of all the code for the current Mario Party, dragged like this, right-click copy, right-click paste, and then they added some new maps. And that was exactly how the development process for the game went.
My theory on this is that this was a DLC expansion for Super Mario Party.
That's what it should be. And the fact that
it was going to be retro themed because they're all in 64 maps, right? Mm-hmm. The theme was going to be N64 maps are back in the game. And then I think Nintendo walked in on them developing it and just went, well, there's 5 maps in the base game anyway, so just make this one a whole other new game.
It should have been a $25 DLC pack is what it should have been.
Yeah, it should have.
I really hope that this game sells horribly. I don't say that very often. And I don't have any problems with Mario Party, but I really hope this game sells poorly to show Nintendo, like, guys,
you can't get away with this
content, please. Content.
Yeah.
$60 content, please.
At least this one's going to have online support for all mini games and boards when it launches. Super Mario Party did not until
waited
a few months
year.
Ago.
Waited until the next game was announced to add it.
Yeah, not a year. 3 years. It was a 3-year wait to get online support.
See, I don't think
Mario
Nintendo
Party.
would have added online support to Mario Party unless there was COVID. I think they were waiting until this game to add online, and then when they saw COVID happen, they just figured they just flipped the switch.
I think they made it for this game, and they went, well, it's running on everything is all the.
It's
codes
the same. We might as well.
So literally, you just put it on there. It probably took them like 3 minutes.
Yeah, no, I fully believe they were going to keep online as an exclusive feature to the new game, and they were just going to wait. But then COVID happened, and they were like, oh, well, we can just throw this out there. Since all we have to do is flip the switch. Yeah. Same with the freaking Bluetooth headphone support that we talked about last week.
That is just ridiculous.
They're just like, all right, guys, I know it's been 4 or 5 years. Let me there you go. You can have that now.
They just had one intern in charge of it at launch, and he just kept falling asleep, and he wouldn't turn it on.
No, see, I think what happened is originally the CEO of Nintendo was supposed to be the guy who flips that switch, and then when he stepped down, the next guy forgot to flip it, and then so the next guy in line was supposed to do it, and he forgot, and they just kept passing it down until it got to the intern, and the intern flipped the switch on. I think that's what happened.
In the CEO of Nintendo's office, there's just a big red button that says
Bluetooth headphone support. It's like that President Red telephone, but he's just like, flip the switch. Alrighty, what do we got next? Knights of the Old Republic launching on Switch. So this isn't the remake. This isn't the remake that was announced last week. This is the original Knights of the Old Republic RPG Star Wars game. It's a very long game. It has aged
poorly.
Bad. It does not. I mean, it looks okay, but it only looks okay because it's on the Switch, and everything on the Switch. That's not a first-party game. Kind of looks bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you already know if you like KOTOR or not, and you already know if you want it portably or not. I think it'll be fine. I think. Did you guys see Republic Commando was $7?
Is it $7?
Yeah.
It was. I almost bought it, and I would have bought it, but the game doesn't have couch co-op. Or online co-op. So why would you want to play that game?
I think this Knights of the Old Republic port, anyone who's now interested in playing that game, I think is just going to wait for the remake to come out. So I think this was kind of ill timing.
I think people will. I think this game will sell okay because the remake is so far away, and now there's renewed interest in the original series. And I don't know if I added this to the docket or not. Actually, I think I did. But did you guys see who they hired to write the Knights of the Old Republic remake?
No, I don't think I did.
Okay. Let me do a little bit of an internet history lesson here. Do you remember
it's right here.
Do you remember the YouTube channel Leafy is Here?
Oh, Sam, of course I remember Leafy is Here. My
favorite
YouTuber?
Like 6 or 7 years ago, he made a video about this girl because she once claimed that she was sexually assaulted virtually in Grand Theft Auto. Just gonna let that sink in for a minute.
I think she's a great choice. I think it's really good for women.
She's an interesting character.
Quality. No female has ever been near
She
Star
also
Wars
says that
before.
she does not like male Star Wars fans, specifically those that use Knights of the Old Republic to like gatekeep. So
cool.
They really picked a standout star to write this one.
Oh right, Castlevania.
Like almost as great as Brie Larson.
I would rather have Brie Larson write the game, to be quite honest.
I know she's a Star Wars fan, so
She is a Star Wars
maybe.
fan, but she's
also.
I know
she's different.
I know she's campaigning to be the star of Kevin Feige's Star Wars, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah, that's gonna end well.
Nope. Nope. Not that, please.
Personality. I don't care if it's a woman. Like,
just not that one. Can you do a different one though?
Get another one. Get Daisy Ridley.
Ray was great. Yeah, just make a Ray series for crying out loud.
No. Just make a new movie. Make a new movie about a different female.
Did they
character,
announce a
just
Finn
cast
show
Daisy
for
Ridley
Disney
again.
Plus?
No, but there were rumors of it.
Okay, they need to do that because he got screwed over so bad by the sequels. But that we're not talking about that right now. Castlevania Collection launches great. If you haven't bought one of the 17 other Castlevania collections, then this one's for you.
This one includes Circle of the Moon, Harmony of Dissonance, Aria of Sorrow, and Dracula X. Launched today on the eShop. So if you're interested, go pick that up.
Just based on the titles of these games, I can tell that Dracula X was the fan favorite.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Voice of Cards launches in November.
This was that card game that they showed at the start of the show.
Yeah, this is as soon as this came on screen, I was like, "Oh, Square Enix is making another mobile game I'm not going to play." And everyone was like, "How do you know it's Square Enix? And how do you know it's a mobile game?" And I'm like, 1, it looks like a mobile game. 2, it has an anime JPEG art style, which by default makes it a Square Enix game. And surprise, it's a Square Enix. It's not actually a mobile game, but it's a Square Enix mobile game.
At this point in the show, this is when I was like, all right, cool.
This was like their first announcement too. This was right after. So they started off with the Monster Hunter DLC, and then this was their first like game announcement.
And I was like,
uh-oh, this isn't good. Alrighty, Mario Golf. Sorry, finish what you were saying there.
No, it's fine. I'll get to it later.
Right.
Mario Golf Super Rush.
Mario Golf, the best game.
Patrick's favorite video game of all time.
Everyone's favorite video game.
I was seriously considering buying a Switch just for Mario Golf.
When we get you that Switch for Christmas, we'll get you Mario Golf with it. How's that?
That would be awesome.
But they announced another free update coming to Mario Golf Super Rush. It's going to have new characters Koopa Troopa and Ninja. And they're adding 2 new courses as well.
One I believe is New Dunk City, because that was the one they showed gameplay of. Or New Donk City, I think was one of them.
I think one of them might be that, and I think one of them is like a wintry, frosty.
Yeah, I think one of them is the mountains, and one of them is New Donk City, because they showed gameplay of them running on those, those beams in New Donk City that's like off on the side.
I think that might be a course already in the game.
If it's already in the game, I don't know. I haven't played the game. The game.
I think the golf. 2 new courses are a desert map and like a snowy area.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Cool. Disco Elysium, the final cut. I didn't know that there was an original cut. Of Disco Elysium, but it launches November 12th. If you know what that is, I'm sure you'll like it. I have no clue. Trailer for the Age of Calamity DLC Phase 2, a game that everyone who's played it has already given up on, is coming out.
I didn't buy it.
I bought it. I put maybe 60 hours into it, and then I got bored. Again, the only other person that was in there when we watched it that it has the game did the same thing, just like gave up about halfway through just because they got bored. Project
hey, if you did like it, there's more DLC coming your way.
Yeah. So. Project Triangle Strategy has been officially revealed and renamed to wait for it. Triangle Strategy. They took the project off.
They did the same thing.
Same thing with Octopath Traveler. They know how to.
I cannot believe they kept the same.
If Square Enix is good at one thing, it's naming things.
Oh my god!
That's such a dumb name.
That doesn't sound like a game. It
sounds like a coding error.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like one of those like math learning apps for the iPad for like a 5-year-old. This is
it's interesting.
Terrible name.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'll give it that.
They didn't talk about this game for too long. They just did it for a short bit. And pretty much just said they like fixed things that people had said in the survey that they did back when the demo came out a few months ago. And I believe they also gave it a spring 2022 launch window. So.
All right, and Dying
strategy game.
Sorry, yeah.
That's for you.
Deltarune Chapter 2
Management 2, yeah.
launches on Switch today as a free update for Deltarune if you had Deltarune already.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Cool. For those of you who played Undertale and didn't forget about it a year after it came out, I'm sure you're very excited about that. Yeah, it's on Switch.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like Undertale or Deltarune gameplay? It's like a Game Boy Advance game. It can run on a freaking calculator.
I know, I just didn't know what it was.
Alrighty. Yeah, Deltarune is the sequel to Undertale.
Oh.
Again, yeah, no one knows that because they haven't marketed it that way. They marketed it as a new game, but it was a sequel/prequel to... It's confusing. Anyways, Dying Light 2 cloud version launches same day as other console versions, which is on October 19th. Oh, though that's for Platinum Edition. They haven't announced the release date for Dying Light 2, I don't think.
Oh, I think Dying Light 2 is the cloud version's coming out the same day as the actual game comes out on other consoles.
Okay. Cool. So if you want to play a zombie game that was announced 10 years ago, we got you covered. All right.